I'm Paul DiMurato, the owner of P&D Home Inspections here in Staten Island. I'm licensed in New York and New Jersey.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and Paul's been a great help to me on in some inspections. Actually, what was the one that you did? Was that a HUD? Was
Yes,
that
it
technically a HUD?
Yes, technically,
Okay,
yeah.
333 Lafayette
Yes,
Avenue,
yeah.
which was an in-house listing. Okay, so the home inspection process. So what's the difference between a home inspection and appraisal? Why do buyers need both?
Okay, well, an appraisal is really just you what it sounds like. You want to find out what the value of the home is. The home inspection is what I'm doing. I'm coming in there and I'm looking at the overall condition of the home.
How long does a typical home inspection take? And what are you looking for, Paul?
Usually a home inspection runs about 2, maybe 3 hours, depending on the size of the home. And I'm looking for, really my big thing is structural issues, because that's a big thing with with homes.
And basically, you talked about this earlier, but the deal breakers.
Oh, deal breakers are structural issues. When you have a foundation issue and the house is racked sideways, or the foundation is
Even I can
bowed,
notice it.
yeah, something that anybody could notice, then you don't buy that house.
Okay, I got you, and you're straightforward with people. Are there areas of areas of the home that inspectors can't access or evaluate? And there's always limitations. I'm sure you explain those to the buyers.
There are limitations. I'm only allowed to check what's in the visible area. So, like, if you think there's a hole under this desk, I can't move a desk to look.
Go see behind a wall.
Or see behind a wall. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I use thermal imaging cameras so I can possibly see maybe there's a moisture issue, but it's not letting me. It's not X-ray vision where I could see every possible problem behind the wall.
So let's see. So timing and logistics. When in the buying process, should buyers schedule their home inspection? We had this discussion earlier.
Usually within 1 to 3 days of having their offer accepted, they should.
Especially in a competitive market, right,
Yeah,
Paul?
yeah.
You start
Time
dragging your
is
feet,
definitely of the
sellers get
essence.
nervous.
Yeah.
I find that. All right. Should buyers attend the inspection in person, and what are the advantages?
They should attend. They don't have to be there right from the start, but they should definitely attend. That way, if the inspector comes up with something, you can see that problem in real time instead of reading in a report, because it could be a minor issue visually while it's being explained to you by the inspector. But if you're just reading it on a piece of paper, you'd be like, wow, I can't buy this house. And that's
In
not
my
the
career, in
case.
24 years, I had one person not come, and I thought that was strange, but they sent somebody in their place. Because I'm a fan. I attend the inspections whenever I can, but I don't, as I've said, don't follow the inspector around. So how quickly can you typically schedule inspection after an offer is accepted? Same
It's
answer,
still
1 to 3
1 to 3
days,
days,
right?
yeah.
What happens if the inspection reveals major problems during a competitive market?
Then don't buy that house.
Yeah, because
It
you
doesn't
think
matter how competitive it is, you'll find something else. Don't. It's hard not to fall in love when you find a house.
I
You
know.
think it's going to be a home. You
it's
think it's going to be a
emotional.
home.
It's an emotional decision.
Right, but
It really is.
if it's going to be a money pit, what's the point? You don't want something that's someone else's headache.
But in your experience, you have had somebody that went ahead and bought a house.
I did.
Okay,
I
so
did.
there you go.
I chased them away from one house that had gaping holes in the walls and the roof and the exterior siding, and the foundation was crumbling, and they went and bought a mold house instead.
Okay, red flags and warning signs.
Yes.
What are some hidden issues that buyers might miss during their walkthrough, but you catch during inspections?
Okay, well, water problems are a big hidden issue, especially if the basement is finished. If it's finished and it's freshly painted, I feel sometimes they have something to hide. And you're trying to
okay.
cover up that
Wood
mold seam.
paneling. That's a big thing, the wood paneling issue.
Yeah, wood
I
paneling,
know it's
but
very 70s.
it's
but
very 70s, but it's very easy to see if there's a
that
moisture
70s
problem.
house.
Because you can actually see the wood will be very wavy at the bottom. You'll
really?
know if there's a wood problem
Yeah.
with that.
All right. I've always had people say, "What are they hiding?" And it's like that was a thing
That was the thing.
at a certain time.
sure.
Yeah,
My parents
especially in
bought a house.
basements.
They finished the basement, and what was the first thing that went up on the walls? Wood paneling.
Okay. Are there certain ages or types of homes that tend to have more problems?
All the older homes. So,
Yeah.
like Brooklyn, Staten Island, Queens, you have homes that were built in the 1800s. So don't expect the walls to be perfectly straight, and don't expect the floors to be perfectly level. You're going to have some tilt, but that's part of the character of owning an old home.
Yeah, and old homes lend themselves to a certain personality. Some people just are not interested.
You got to want that type
You
of
know, you have
house.
to be an old soul to appreciate an older
Yes.
home. I happen to
Yes.
like them. What's the worst thing you ever discovered during inspection? I think you
Oh, yeah.
hinted on that
I
earlier.
pulled up in a house and I'm looking, and there were watermelon-sized holes through the roof.
Watermelon size?
Yeah, they were like, this, that big, and I mean,
Okay.
it was crazy. And the wall framing was exposed on the outside. The sheeting was rotted off. The siding was gone. I saw the insulation, the pipes, the electrical from outside.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. You know, you see these houses with deferred maintenance. You know, I call that's a little bit more than deferred maintenance. But I always say to people when there is deferred maintenance, sometimes people haven't been able. You know, the house could be neat and clean, but there could be some deferred maintenance. They just haven't had the money or
Yeah.
the time or whatever. All right. How can buyers spot signs of a poorly done do-it-yourself renovation or flip?
Oh, okay. Okay, here's some easy ones. If you walk through the kitchen and the bathroom and they don't have those GFCI outlets, that's a flipper. If you look under the kitchen sink and you see a pipe that looks like an accordion, that's flexible drain line. That's another flip special.
Telltale sign.
Yes.
Working with real estate agents, how do home inspectors and realtors work together in the buying process? I pretty much lay back with the inspectors, as I've told you, Paul,
Right.
and we had one together. You know, I'm respectful of your experience.
Well, I mean, our job for both of us really is to look out, especially if you have a buyer's agreement. Our job is to really look out for the best interest of the buyer. That's what we're there for, protection of the buyer.
Okay. Yeah. Have you ever felt pressure from an agent to downplay issues?
No.
Good. Yeah.
No,
And I don't think a good agent, you know, any capable agent should never do that.
Right, no. If any
Yeah.
agent tries to, you don't want to work with that. Because
Exactly. That's
it's
sort
just a
of-
headache in
yeah.
itself, yeah.
What do you wish more realtors understood about the inspection process?
Well, that we can't see behind walls, that we all limited to what we could do, and we're not really deal killers. And really, if it came down to that, I killed a deal. That means I did my job because that client was going to be buying a house that was a real clunker.
So you're fair in your assessment.
Yeah, I tried.
You're fair.
I tried to be
I
very
know.
fair. Yeah.
All right. And then last but not least, so we're almost done. Buyer education. What should first time home buyers know before their inspection?
Well, they should expect that no home is perfect. You may love it, but it's not perfect, and issues will be found.
On a resale, especially on new construction,
because-
even, right, Paul?
Yeah, even new construction. You know, the biggest things I found with new construction is always seems to be electrical problems.
Really?
Yeah, they don't.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a strange phenomenon. Yeah.
Okay. And are there questions buyers forget to ask that they really should?
Well, sometimes they just hear, "Oh, the house is fine," but listen to what we have at the end of the inspection. I give you a verbal of everything I found. Just take it all into consideration before you make your final decision. You wanna make an informed decision. Just don't jump the gun.
Okay. And how could buyers use the inspection report to negotiate repairs or price reductions? That's a tricky one because they need to be educated about what is a negotiating point.
Right. So if I find that the house has a roof issue and they still want the house, well then that's something that they can negotiate with the seller about. That's something that's fairly common.
Yeah. And also if a seller's not ready to, you know, they're not going to put a new roof on before they're selling. So perhaps maybe, you know, they
They'll give them a buyer's
take the
clause.
house and the buyer knows informationally he has to get a new roof down the road or get a credit within reason. Yeah. I know that's a big thing, roofs, because they're expensive.
They are.
Okay, and then last but not least, routine maintenance issues that homeowners often overlook.
Oh, the HVAC system, that's a big one. A lot of times people just, especially forced hot air, they just change the filter. They don't look at the whole system. The burners could be dusty and filthy. Even the venting system over time, the dust builds up throughout the vent system in the home. You want to have them cleaned every other year at least.
So have a maintenance agreement, right? We have one. We have a maintenance agreement for the AC, for the heating. You know what I mean? And get it maintained, right? And it's, you know, penny wise, pound foolish. You know, spend a little money and have it done. So I think we're pretty much done. Thanks so much for listening.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
It was
You're
great.
welcome,
It
Paul.
was great.